Lisa and her two sisters finished their meal and followed Carla out. Once outside, they couldn't help but take a look at the staff who were unloading the produce. They saw that there was lobster, sea cucumber, abalone, and other expensive ingredients in the truck, which seemed to be the same one they had seen days ago in front of the Sunset restaurant. Where did all this stuff come from? It looks pretty good, the chef said as they studied the goods. The lobster's from Canada, the sea cucumbers from Australia, and the abalone's from Germany. Don't worry, everything is the world's best, the delivery man said. Let me see the documents for your shipment. Let me see when it arrived at the port. The delivery man quickly handed over a record book to a chef. This was the official data, and it recorded all the information of the shipment in detail. Hey, you don't trust us yet? The goods I'm giving you must be the best in New York. These goods were checked and accepted by customs an hour ago. They're definitely the freshest, the delivery man said with a smile. Okay, the chef said as they looked at the documents and nodded their heads in satisfaction. They had already picked out the ingredients that they needed and asked, "Where are you going to send the rest of this?" We take them to the Sunset restaurant first. Although they're leftovers, these are still top produce. I estimate that this hotel is the best in all of New York, the delivery man said as he loaded the remaining food into the truck. This scene stunned Lisa and the others. The produce for the Sunset restaurant was chosen from their leftovers? Doesn't that mean that the food here is better than at Sunset? How is it possible that the cargo could be transported here within an hour of reaching port? She asked herself. When Lisa recalled the taste of the food that she had just enjoyed in the dining area, it really had been more delicious than what they'd eaten at Sunset. Lisa, Fiona, and Natalie felt a great heartache. That meal at Sunset Restaurant had cost many thousands of dollars, and they had made big fools of themselves. They had never thought that they would be able to enjoy a feast that was worth so much money, but would be free of charge at Azalea Guest House. Plus, the ingredients were even fresher than those at Sunset. They had stayed in Azalea Guest House for a week for nothing, but they had never eaten a single meal there. When they thought about losing so much money all at once, Lisa and the others felt as if their hearts were being cut out bit by bit. Are you all right? Carla asked with concern. Why did the three of them turn so pale all of a sudden? Mind your own business. Lisa gave Carla a hard look, thinking that Carla had been dining at the hotel all week. She looked at her with even more distaste, as if she had taken advantage of her. Walking around the garden path in the courtyard, Lisa and the others finally felt a little better. However, there was still one thing that they couldn't understand. Why was the Azalea Guest House restaurant so much more sophisticated than Sunset? This was just a rundown hotel that was about to shut down. At that moment, they happened to be near the hotel's front entrance. I'm sorry, but please don't pass yet. You can take a detour to the other side, a man in a suit and shiny leather shoes said as he blocked their path. He looked like a staff member. Oh, okay. Lisa saw how handsome this man was and agreed in a daze. She stood beside Fiona and her sisters. There were several staff members there, and all of them were tall and wore earphones. They wore serious expressions and said something into their earphones from time to time. A few minutes later, the staff members started getting nervous and looked towards the entrance. A flashy car with a red flag slowly drove up. A foreigner stepped out of the car. A man who looked like he was in charge went to shake hands with the foreigner. After exchanging a few pleasantries with the translator, the man in charge invited the foreigner to enter through Azalea Guest House's gate. As they walked ahead, the man in charge introduced the Azalea Guest House to the foreigners through translators. The foreigners looked at the surroundings and nodded from time to time. As they passed by Lisa and the others, they heard the man say, "This hotel is specially designed to receive the most respected guests. We've previously received the Secretary of State for Finance, the Chancellor of the University of Oxford, and the head of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization." The foreigner nodded and spoke in a foreign language. The translator quickly said, "Minister Yayatari said that he is honored to be able to stay in a place where so many distinguished people have stayed. He hopes that this trip to New York can attract more investment for EI Salvador." Lisa and the others were shocked when they heard their words. What kind of hotel was Azalea Guest House? They've even received powerful people such as foreign ministers and chancellors, they wondered. Lisa felt more and more that Azalea Guest House was not as simple as they had imagined. Lisa opened her phone and searched for information about the hotel from the internet. When they saw the results, the sisters were completely dumbfounded. The words almost blinded them. They were actually staying in one of the top hotels in the world. It was no wonder that they were not able to extend their stay in the room and that the food was even better than at Sunset Restaurant. Everything made more sense. This was a place that had received countless nobles and dignitaries. Ordinary people, even if they had money, wouldn't be able to book a room there. Yet these ladies from a small city had stayed there for a week. If they had known earlier, they would have felt better there. Lisa's gaze shot toward Carla. Her eyes lit up. I'll go back first, Carla said as she was terrified by her stare. Don't go, Carla. Are you leaving tomorrow as well? Lisa asked as she moved closer to her. Alex has already helped me pay. I can stay here for a few days, Carla said in a low voice. Carla, let your daughter's boyfriend help us out for a few more days. We want to stay here to keep you company. Lisa had changed her way of addressing her. She definitely couldn't use Alex, so her only hope was Carla. Carla, please help us talk to Alex. Did you forget that we were the ones who gave you the plane ticket? Said one sister. I believe Carla will definitely help us renew our room since we came to New York together, said another sister. All right. Carla wasn't the type to fuss about it, so she agreed. She gave Alex a call, asking him to get a new room for Lisa and the others. Previously, Debbie had told her that Alex's family background was also pretty good. At that time, Carla didn't really believe it, but she believed it now. However, Carla didn't know how big his family was, so she had to ask Debbie about it when she had time. Thank you, Carla. Take care. After Lisa and the others respectfully escorted Carla to her room, they strolled around the courtyard. Knowing that this was such an important hotel, they even felt that the hotel's bathroom was more fragrant than the flowers outside. The three sisters walked around and took fancy photographs, which would be evidence for their later claims that they had been to this hotel. After 2 hours of photographing, they finally returned to their rooms with satisfaction. I didn't expect Alex to be able to get a room at a great hotel. Now that I think about it, that kid is quite handsome, Fiona said as she sat on the bed and looked at the photo on her phone. At first, I saw that he was poorly dressed and didn't have a watch. I thought it was a pauper with a poor woman like Debbie. But now it seems that he isn't that simple, replied Natalie. I'm rich myself, but I've just asked how much it costs to stay here for a night, and it's more than $20,000. Who could possibly afford to spend that much money? Lisa pondered and said, Don't forget this is a particularly exclusive hotel. It's impossible to book a room without status. Yeah, I think it's strange now. Think about this. Why did Manager Hood treat us so courteously on our first day at Sunset Restaurant? It must have been out of respect for one of us. At first, we all thought it was Darren, but it doesn't look like that's the case after what happened today, Natalie analyzed calmly. Only Alex. Lisa paused, then continued. I didn't think that Alex would hide himself so well at such a young age. That's right. Which of the normal rich kids aren't arrogant and cruel? How many of them can be calm and collected as he is? It seems like this Alex is no ordinary wealthy man. This kind of person is very powerful. He will definitely be very successful in the future, Fiona said, and the other two nodded in agreement. If only Donna could be with Alex. It seems like Carla and her daughter still don't know that Alex is from a top family. This is an opportunity, Lisa began to scheme. That's right. In front of Alex, Darren is nothing, said one sister. I'll tell Donna, although the chances are slim. But if I don't give it a try, I'll regret it for the rest of my life, Lisa said with a serious look in her eyes. Alex didn't know what Lisa and the others were thinking. He and Debbie still living a sweet life together. After a week of intense classes, Debbie finally caught up with her learning and had some free time to spend with Alex. Their schedules were both open after the first morning class, so Alex asked Debbie to meet him. They went for a walk down the commercial street outside the university campus. I gave your mother another week of rest at the Azalea guest house. She rarely comes to New York, so why not let her visit the city more? Alex said as he held Debbie's hand as they walked along the street. His heart filled with happiness as he looked at her beautiful face while she licked her ice cream cone. I haven't seen her for a few days. Why is she wandering around the city alone? Debbie asked, with a trace of worry on her face. It wasn't that she didn't want to spend time with her mother. It was that her mother had told her to study hard. Carla Stonehill didn't want her daughter to slack off with her studies because of her visit. It's all right. I've already asked Sam Woodsworth to send someone to accompany her for a stroll. You can rest easy, reassured Alex. You still have a way of doing things, Debbie said. She felt comforted knowing that Alex had taken care of things and had sent someone to help. It's so hot, Alex exclaimed as he looked at her and her two long braids. He couldn't get tired of looking at her. He playfully said, Can I have a bite of your ice cream? I'll give you some, she said as Alex stared at her. She felt embarrassed as he looked at her so intently, but she also really enjoyed it. She held the cone up to him. Yum, Alex said with a smile while slowly opening his mouth. As she held the cone, she saw that he started to eat all of it. Debbie became surprised and angry. He only left the bottom of the cone in her hand. He looked at her with a naughty smile as he chewed happily. Alex, she exclaimed as she grabbed his arm and said, You should have left some for me. You're so annoying. Ouch, Debbie, let go, Alex said in a flustered manner. She let go of him after some playful struggle. It was just a mouthful. You said it was okay. Alex rubbed his arm and continued talking with her. You. Debbie looked at him, feeling playfully annoyed. He quickly admitted his wrongdoing, softly hugged her and said, I was wrong. I was just messing around with you. Please don't be angry, all right? I'll buy you 2 ice cream cones next time. 3 cones? 4? Will that do? Debbie was so amused by him that she couldn't help but laugh. Alex finally let out a sigh of relief and took the opportunity to hold her in his arms and give her a big hug. Although she was small, he could still feel her weight in his arms, taking notice of her body. All right, let go of me, Debbie said softly. He looked at her and noticed that her gaze was directed behind him. Alex let go of her and turned to look. He saw a well-proportioned, short-haired beauty staring at the two of them. However, when Alex looked at the girl with short hair, she was also startled and quickly turned her gaze elsewhere. He turned his head in bewilderment as he met Debbie's gaze, which was full of suspicion. The beautiful woman once again directed her gaze toward Alex and Debbie and carefully observed them. Who is she? Debbie asked in a jealous tone. I don't know, Alex said and shrugged. It was the first time he saw this woman, but he was happy to see that Debbie was jealous of her. Then why did she keep looking at you? Debbie pouted and said, She's still watching. Alex turned his head and surprised the woman again. She turned back around. When Alex turned back to Debbie, the woman turned again and looked at him with a serious expression. Maybe it's because I'm so handsome, Alex said to Debbie with a wry smile. Debbie rolled her eyes at him and said, What do you think of her? Alex was stunned for a moment before he smiled. Debbie felt a sense of looming crisis. He slowly made an evil smile, leaned closer toward Debbie and said, Do you care a lot about me? Who cares about you? Do you like her or not? Debbie said shyly and anxiously. If you think she's better than me, then go with her. I'm leaving. With that, Debbie started to get ready to go away. Alex was shocked and did not dare to play around with her anymore as it might create a problem. How can she compare to you? Alex grabbed Debbie's small hand and said in a serious tone, In my heart, you are more important than anyone else. Really? Debbie lowered her head and asked in a soft, low voice. She felt a bit of warmth in her heart. Of course it's true. Didn't you ask me what I thought of her? In my eyes, you're 100 times more beautiful than she is, even when you crinkle up your nose. Damn it, when do I crinkle my nose? Debbie playfully punched Alex and giggled. She looked at him with her bright eyes and said, Your words sound so good, but who knows what you're really thinking? Hey, so you still won't believe me, right? I'll prove it to you right now, Alex said, turning around and walking toward the short-haired woman. Alex, come back, Debbie called him anxiously. How could she not believe him? It was just a joke. But that short-haired woman looked like she was secretly in love with him. Alex didn't turn around when he heard Debbie calling him. He kept walking toward the woman. Seeing Alex walk toward her, the woman panicked. She looked left and right, but she was at a loss for what to do. After Alex walked up to her side, she had no choice but to quickly turn around to avoid an awkward situation. Seeing her flustered expression, Alex felt quite helpless. I didn't expect that after just a single glance she would be so sensitive. She won't even dare look at me. She must have been secretly observing me for a long time, right? He thought, sighing. It's all because we met at the wrong time. If Debbie and I weren't together, we might have had a chance. But now that I'm with Debbie, I won't even sneak a peek at a supermodel. Nearby, a group of boys saw the scene and started to talk among themselves. Damn, this beauty can't be that bad, right? But she's fallen for that damn, said one boy. I'm also stronger than him. How come I don't have that kind of luck? Said another boy. Beautiful girl, your family must be pretty good too. How come you're so blind? Said another. When the surrounding boys saw Alex standing in front of the beautiful woman, they felt agitated that they didn't receive her attention. He had to explain this to the girl as soon as possible before things got complicated. I don't know your name right now. I'm sorry, but I have to tell you about this. I already have a girlfriend, so I can't date other girls anymore. I hope you can stop at that. When Alex finished getting the words out, he felt that what he had said was reasonable, but the short-haired woman didn't move at all. It can't be that she still doesn't want to let go after I've explained it so clearly, right? He thought. Young lady, Alex started to say as he reached out his hand, wanting to turn the woman to face toward him. She unexpectedly exploded like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. Let go! What are you doing? The woman pushed Alex's hand away and glared at him in disgust. I wanted to tell you that it's impossible between us, he said with a shock, as she was very beautiful. She had a small face with big, dark eyes, and she wore nice clothes. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Why are you saying so many weird things to me? Who are you? Who likes you? She said, looking at Alex. You were looking at me just now, he said, feeling very awkward and stunned. His face turned red. I was looking at you? Yeah, you sure are interesting. She laughed at him and shook her head. She pushed him away and walked toward Debbie. Wasn't she looking at me? He asked himself. Alex was lost in his thoughts and felt extremely embarrassed. His face was also hot. He scratched his head as he followed behind the woman. The short-haired woman walked up to Debbie and gave her a slight smile. She looked at Debbie's face carefully and nodded. Then she took a business card out from her pocket, handed it to Debbie and said, Hello, my name is Janice Campbell. This is my card. Alex thought about what he had said to this woman earlier and felt weak and embarrassed. He scratched his head. Debbie was slightly taken aback. She had never expected her to come over to talk with her. Debbie politely took the business card and read it. It said, Janice Campbell, professional manager of the Sunshine Music Company. I was attracted to you when I first saw you. You look great. We're putting together a girl group like Rocket Girl. I hope you can join our company, Janice said with a smile. Me? Debbie pointed at herself. Janice was inviting her to become a celebrity. It all felt unreal to her. She didn't know what to say. Is that card of yours for real? Alex pulled Debbie behind him. He was afraid that she was being tricked. Janice glared at him. Looking at Janice's eyes, Alex felt a little guilty. After all, he had been a bit selfish when he had said those words to her earlier. If you don't believe me, you can search online, Janice said. Since she had charged over so abruptly, it was normal for him to be so suspicious. She could also tell that Alex was Debbie's boyfriend. Alex and Debbie searched online, and they did find some information about the Sunshine Music Company. Janice was indeed a manager. "I'm sorry I offended you earlier," Debbie apologized to Janice on behalf of Alex. "But I don't know anything. I might not be able to join your group." Debbie yearned to accept, but she was just a small-town kid who didn't know anything about talent. "Don't worry. You're totally up to standard. You know about Rocket Girl, right? I think you'll have the potential to become like their most popular singer. You can rest assured that we'll train you." Janice said with a smile, "Are you ready to try? This is a rare opportunity. If you miss it, you might regret it for the rest of your life," she added. The more that she looked at Debbie, the more that she wanted her to join the company. Debbie felt conflicted. She didn't know what she was afraid of, so she just tugged at the corner of her shirt and hesitated over what decision to make. "Let's give it a go," Alex said. He had decided on Debbie's behalf. Seeing her expression, he knew that she wanted to try it out. She trembled slightly and looked at him. "Do you want to go? I need you to tell me in person," Janice asked Debbie. Debbie looked into Janice's eyes and finally nodded. "All right, with your cute appearance, I can't help but think you are an amazing-looking woman. I believe the audience will like you more," Janice said as she held Debbie's hand and continued, "Since you've agreed, then come with me to the company and sign the contract. At the same time, we'll evaluate your singing and dancing skills so that we can focus on your future training." "Okay." Debbie nodded seriously. She had already made up her mind. She must make the most of this opportunity. Debbie already knew that Alex's family was very rich, but she had never considered relying exclusively on Alex for her expenses. She would still work hard, like before. "All right, we'll leave now. There's no need for him to come along. The girl group we're developing is still secret. No outsiders are allowed in the company," Janice said. "You can stay at the university. Come pick me up later," Debbie said as she glanced at Alex. Alex wanted to go with her, but Debbie had told him to stay. Alex asked for the exact location of Janice's company and promised to pick her up when they were done. Janice got in her car and they headed to the company. "Is he really your boyfriend?" Janice thought back to what Alex said to her selfishly and felt a bit of resentment in her heart. "Just now he told me that I'm secretly in love with him. I don't know where he got that kind of courage from, seeing what he's wearing." Hearing Janice's complaints, Debbie didn't get angry. Instead, she couldn't help but laugh. She was worried that Janice had been secretly looking at Alex. "Actually, he's quite a nice person," she said. "Debbie, you're just a student. You might think that he's not bad, but you'll become a big star in the future. Your prestige and wealth will grow fast. He eventually won't be worthy of you," Janice said seriously, analyzing the situation. "We'll talk about it in the future," Debbie countered, smiling faintly. "Even if I did become famous, would the amount of money I might earn equal even a tiny bit of what Alex's family has?" she thought. They soon arrived at Sunshine Music's New York office. Janice brought her to the practice room to test her singing and dancing skills, but she still didn't know that her results would be better than what she'd been expecting. "Debbie, I didn't expect you to not only be beautiful, but also be so good at singing and dancing. With our professional training, you'll definitely become a great singer and star," Janice said, feeling especially satisfied with Debbie. She believed that she had found a treasure. After signing the contract, it was already noon, so Janice took her out for lunch. "You're now an artist under our banner. Since you're a student, you'll have to pay more attention to your studies, plus also train. As you don't have any classes this afternoon, you can start training at the company. Several other group members will be there this afternoon," said Janice. "Okay," Debbie nodded seriously. Since Janice valued her so much, she had to work hard. She couldn't let Janice down, and she couldn't waste her youth either. Debbie called Alex and said that she would be training all afternoon. She told him not to worry about her, and that she would call him to pick her up after practice. At 4:30, Alex had just finished his class and was on his way back to his dorm. At that moment, Zara Fitzgerald from the cheerleading squad called. "Alex, where are you? Come to the West Sports Field to move your stuff. You don't know about the basketball game?"
Zara said angrily over the phone. He was used to her attitude. During the basketball game, the cheerleading squad would cheer. As he was the only boy on the squad, there was no one else to carry his stuff. When he arrived at the West Sports Field, 7 or 8 attractive girls were standing in front of the equipment room's door, waiting for Alex to move his things. "Oh, Alex, where have you been this month?" Seeing that Alex had arrived, Zara smiled at him smugly. It was strange that she hadn't seen him for so long. "I was away on a trip," Alex said with a smile. "I'll move the hula hoops and fans to the basketball court now." Saying that, he began to move the things for the cheerleaders. "You still have money to travel? I remember that last time you were at the entrance of Shrimp King asking other people for money." Alex didn't say anything as he walked toward the basketball court with a box in his arms. Zara and the others followed behind him. "Yo, I didn't see you for a month, and here I thought you were running away from your guilt." Dean patted his basketball and walked toward Alex with a smile. He then looked toward Alex with an evil smile and said, "You should call him the owner of the fancy car." "That's right, call me the owner of the fancy car," said Alex. "Alex, didn't you bring your big car today?" "I left it at the shop," Alex replied as he put the box in the ground. Oh, look at Alex's mental fortitude. Dean stopped a passing student and pointed at Alex as he said, "Hey bro, let me tell you something. This is the logistics nanny for the cheerleading squad. He drives a..." The basketball players and cheerleaders laughed. Alex gave them a nonchalant look and sat down at the edge of the basketball court. The game soon began. The Preston University basketball team played against a team from another university. In the end, they defeated their opponents by a landslide. After the game, it was already past 6 o'clock. A silver slowly stopped outside the West Sports Field. "Cousin?" Zara whispered. She couldn't understand why her cousin had come at this time. "Zara, it's your cousin. I remember that she isn't married yet," Dean said with a smile. Karen Young had already gotten out of the car. That day, Karen had wavy, long hair and an orange miniskirt. Her hair reached to her thighs. She walked toward the playground in her high heels, as if she were a model on a catwalk. The basketball players all looked at Karen with silly smiles. Some of them had already started to tidy up their hair, hoping to make a good impression. "Don't be selfish. My cousin doesn't like you," Zara said bluntly before walking over to her. The basketball boys didn't listen to Zara. One by one, they followed behind her and walked over to Karen. She was so beautiful. Who wouldn't want to take her out? "Cousin, why are you here?" Zara smiled and held out her hand. "I'm looking for a boy," she said. Karen had originally come to find Zara to ask her for a meeting with Alex, but it wasn't necessary now. Karen already saw him sitting by the basketball court. "My cousin's here to find a boyfriend? She must think students are young and handsome," thought Zara. The basketball players tried to show her their charm. Alex watched as Karen walked over to them. Some boys mussed up their hair to look handsome, while others pretended to be depressed. Dean thought that he had big muscles, so he acted like he wasn't paying attention and moved his arms around nonchalantly, causing his muscles to bulge. Seeing that Karen wasn't paying any attention to the others, Dean felt even more certain that he had a chance. "Hello, miss. Let's get to know each other. My name's Dean," he said as he smiled handsomely when Karen walked up to him. He extended his hand to her. To his surprise, Karen didn't even look at him. Although she seemed to be walking directly toward him, she ignored his outstretched hand. "Miss?" Dean's smile froze on his face. It was awkward, so he quickly scratched his head and pretended as if nothing had happened. However, when he saw what Karen did next, Dean was confused like the rest of the students. Karen walked up to Alex, bent down, and pulled him up by the arm. She said to him with a smile, "Oh, so you're here. Come with me and we'll go get a bite to eat." Her hands were holding his arm as she smiled at him. The distance between their faces was not more than a few inches. Alex could feel her breath. All the other boys were dumbfounded. Their hearts were filled with jealousy, feeling like the world had turned upside down.
Just what was going on, they thought.
Stammered Alex, as Karen was so close that he could see her eyelashes.
Let's go, Karen said with a flirty look. He couldn't help but follow her. The other boys felt goosebumps all over their bodies. With that, Karen pulled Alex toward her car. Cousin, what's happened to you today? Zara blocked Karen's path. She looked at Alex with her almond-shaped eyes and said to him, Where are you going? If you're gone, who's going to carry all our stuff for us? Don't have weird thoughts about my cousin. Look at you. Are you even worthy? Last time, she had arranged for Karen to have lunch with Alex to arouse Robert Watson's jealousy. But Zara felt that he no longer had any value, so there was no need for Karen to date him anymore. She did not understand her cousin's behavior. Alex swallowed his anger. It was Karen who took the initiative to get him, all right, he thought. However, he didn't want to argue with Zara. Karen, thank you for thinking of me, but you see that I can't leave here. I should stay to help carry things, said Alex. Karen tugged on Alex's arm and did not let go. She looked at Zara with a sullen face, her eyes filled with anger. Zara, Alex is my boyfriend now. If you're disrespectful to him, then don't blame me for ignoring our friendship. Alex was a billionaire, so he wasn't someone you could order around however you wanted. Karen felt that Zara was ruining her chances with Alex, so she was extremely angry. Zara was stunned after being scolded by her. Now that Alex is of no use, why is she still defending him and saying such harsh words to me, she thought. Out of the way, Karen shouted angrily. Her shrill voice scared Zara. Karen angrily pushed Zara away, grabbed Alex's hand, got into her car, and drove out of the university. Harry walked to Zara's side and comforted her. The others started to discuss what had just happened. So it turns out Zara's cousin likes guys like Alex. Man, what a good joke, said a person. What's wrong with that stinking loser, Alex? He doesn't have any money and doesn't come from a good family. Even a beggar on the street is better than he is, said another. If Zara's cousin marries Alex in the future, well, just wait and see. Alex will spend all her money. Her whole family will be in danger. How could she allow trash like Alex into her life? Said yet another. When the others saw Karen snatch Alex away, their words began to drip with jealousy. Who said my cousin is dating Alex? Zara asked with a bit of excitement. Other people would never dare to speak ill of her. When she heard others saying that Alex might ruin her family, Zara felt that it was particularly harsh. She was afraid that because of this, her position in this small circle would be affected, so she was careful to deny it. Didn't your cousin just say she was looking for a boyfriend? One of the basketball players asked. Yes, she said. Isn't her leading Alex away proof that he's her boyfriend? Said another. Aren't you too close? Your cousin just got angry at you about Alex. It's not like we didn't see it, said yet another. The others also spoke up. You guys, you're really reading too much into this, Zara laughed. The others were puzzled and didn't understand what she meant. It seems like Karen and I were too realistic. We tricked you all. Upon hearing her words, everyone was dumbfounded, and they couldn't understand what she was trying to say. Were they acting? Since this is such a big misunderstanding, I'll tell you all this secret. Zara saw that the others were curious about what she was going to say and felt relieved. The truth is this, Zara said, and went on to explain how she and her cousin were pretending that Alex was Karen's boyfriend to make Robert jealous. Zara didn't believe this was the reason why Karen had come to get him. The last time she'd seen Robert had been in the restaurant, and he was already very upset. Besides, Robert had often asked her about Karen. He was jealous. They'd already achieved their goal, so there was no need for Karen to care so much about Alex anymore. But now, to smooth over how things looked to her circle of friends, she could only say that it was still their plan. So that's the case, said one person. Hey, I already said your cousin is too beautiful for Alex, said another. Alex must be feeling proud of himself, but he doesn't know that Karen's using him, said yet another.
Listening to Zara's words, the boys from the basketball team were all happy. They laughed and talked, continuing to gloat over the fact that Alex was being used by Karen. So if Robert sees her cousin date Alex again today, he'll be even more furious. They'll get together even faster, Harry said as he looked at Zara.
He heard that Robert was also from a rich family with a bit of power, so he also wanted to get along with Karen and Robert. After all, they could be family someday.
That's right, Zara. Give Robert a call and let him search for them. I heard you say that he almost beat up Alex the last time. This time he may give Alex an even harder time, said one person.
I'll call him if you want. We'll go find him together later and see what kind of expression he has when he finds Alex eating with my cousin again. Robert might even beat him up. That will definitely be exciting, Zara said with shining eyes.
All right, make the call.
Then we'll go and watch Alex get beaten up, the other suggested with interest. Zara took out her cell phone. As she was about to call Robert, her phone lit up with his name on the screen. She proudly waved her cell phone toward the others. She now believed that her cousin must have felt that the previous incident with Robert was not enough, so that's why she had asked Alex to go out with her again. Robert calling her now was definitely within her expectations. Hello? Robert, why are you so free to call me today? Zara already guessed in her heart that Robert was calling her because of Karen.
Oh, if you want to find my cousin, why don't you just call her? You're calling her, but she's not answering her phone. Maybe she had something else to do. I don't know. Don't worry too much. You're still the most important person in Karen's heart. How about this? Come to my school, and I'll go with you to meet her. Then I'll speak up for you.
With that, Zara proudly hung up the phone.
Awesome, said one. Zara, it sounds like Robert is really worried. Maybe he'll really beat up Alex today, said another.
Let's get showered and changed first. There's going to be a good show later, said yet another.
A few of the basketball players went to get dressed. After they finished getting ready, a new drove to the parking lot. A well-dressed young man got out of his car. It was Robert. His hair was slicked back, and he wore a designer shirt and shorts, shiny leather sandals, and an expensive watch. What was even more eye-catching was that Robert was holding a huge bunch of roses and walking towards Zara in a hurry. Robert, did you buy a new car? Zara took a few glances before she recognized him. Yes, I bought it this month, he said. Since Karen and Alex's date last time, Robert had been very agitated and afraid that he wouldn't be able to win with Karen. So he begged his father to buy him an auto. These are 96 roses. They have decided to officially propose to Karen. I've got the diamond ring. Take a look. Robert pulled a red box out of his pocket. When he opened it, she saw a beautiful 1-carat diamond ring inside. He didn't dare to wait any longer. That day, he was prepared to commit to the relationship between him and Karen. However, when he called Karen to ask her, she didn't answer the phone. Luckily, Zara was her cousin. Oh, you're so thoughtful. Roses and a diamond ring. My cousin will be so touched, Zara said with a smile. Indeed, it was as she and her cousin had expected. Zara felt a sense of accomplishment. Thinking about the fact that Karen was with Alex now, Zara wasn't afraid that she would ruin his proposal. Karen would blame Alex by saying that he had pestered her. Then Robert would probably beat him up. I'll call my cousin right now, Zara said happily. However, Karen's phone was turned off. She called Alex and his phone was turned off too. What's going on? Is Karen being sloppy? Zara thought. You can't get through? Why is your cousin avoiding me? Did she go out with that brat again? Robert asked anxiously. Don't worry. Even if she's with him now, it must be because he's pestering her. She won't fall for such a guy, Zara said to soothe him. But she was happy to see him anxious and nervous. It meant that he cared a great deal about her cousin, and it also meant that Alex was more likely to get beaten up. Let's try this, said Zara as she dialed another number. She had previously met someone in her WhatsApp group who could pinpoint someone's current location through their phone number. Zara paid $30 for the person to find it and quickly got Karen's location at the Wanda Plaza's Joy Japanese restaurant. Zara and Robert drove toward Wanda Plaza, along with Harry, Dean, and some of the other basketball players and cheerleaders.
They all wanted to see the sparks fly when Robert and Alex met. Zara and the others soon arrived at the Joy Japanese restaurant in Wanda Plaza. The restaurant was filled with booths and small private rooms. Hello, may I ask which booth the couple that arrived about an hour ago were in? The lady is beautiful, like me, wearing an orange skirt, and the man's up. Which room are they in now? Zara asked. The hostess remembered Karen and Alex. However, when she saw that Zara had so many people with her, she didn't dare to casually reveal her customers' information. There aren't many rooms here, so let's search for them one by one, Zara said to the others. They started searching each room in the restaurant. It was hard for Alex to not admit that he thought she was beautiful. They were sitting at a table in a small room that felt very private. She wanted to find a chance to turn off his phone, as well as her phone, to prevent Zara from calling and messing things up. She also wanted to find an opportunity to convince Alex to drink from his glass. After Alex became infatuated with her, perhaps she wouldn't even need to do anything. Alex opened the door and walked in. She quickly sat up straight. Alex, thank you for coming out to eat with me. Let me toast you. Karen held the glass of wine and put it close to her mouth. Her gaze was locked on him. She watched him drink the wine. An excited smile gradually appeared in her eyes. At the same time, his body gradually started to react, and his mind became a little dazed. Alex put down his chopsticks and forcefully opened his eyes, but his mind was getting more and more confused. He looked at Karen. Her image was trembling slightly, and he felt that her smile was especially mesmerizing. Karen's eyes were getting brighter and brighter. He didn't make a move for a long time, so she couldn't wait any longer. Alex, my shoulder is hurting a little. Can you massage it for me? Before he could figure out what was going on, she had already wiggled over next to him. Alex wanted to pull his hand away. Manager Young, please let go. Alex's mind was a mess, and he tried his best not to look at her pretty face. Alex used all his strength to push her away. He gently touched his forehead and tried to wake himself up. Your willpower is quite strong, she thought. However, Karen couldn't give up such a good opportunity that day. Karen stood up. She looked at Alex, who had slid out of his chair and onto the ground by now. I have planned for today for such a long time. Seeing his conflicted expressions and actions, Karen felt that she was about to succeed. Alex was so restrained that the veins on his forehead were popping out. He clenched his teeth and let out a soft sound. Ah! Alex roared with his eyes closed. Bang! The door to the room swung open. Zara, James, Harry, and a few other basketball players and cheerleaders all rushed in. When Alex saw Zara and the others rushing in, his feverish head instantly calmed down. An image of Debbie appeared in his mind. Karen was extremely angry at the group of people who rushed in. In another half an hour, she would have caught Alex. These people were causing trouble for her, but she was not willing to give up on such a good opportunity so easily. Get out! Karen roared at Zara and the others. Robert roared and smashed the big bouquet of roses onto the ground. He became so angry it was like a volcano erupting. Robert knocked away a few guys and pulled Karen. Are you sick? What's her status? Alex is someone you think you can fight against? Karen, we're a couple. Robert was both wronged and confused. He took out the diamond ring and said, I'm here to propose to you. Karen, look at this diamond ring I bought for you. Who cares about your diamond ring? We have no relationship. I want you to disappear from my sight. Karen was not moved at all. One diamond ring was nothing to her. She could have countless diamond rings if she married Alex. Alex, are you all right? Karen walked over to his side and asked out of concern. Alex didn't say anything. His mind was very clear now. He just wanted to see Debbie right away, pushed past Zara and the other onlookers, and quickly walked out of the restaurant. I'm sorry, muttered Alex in confusion.
A few hours ago, Janice had brought Debbie into the practice room to ask the company's best music teacher to guide her in her singing practice. Debbie was very talented, and she had already received praise and favors from the music teachers. Janice, who had been watching from the side, also felt quite satisfied. As she was practicing, a young woman came into the practice room, followed by 3 more young and fashionable girls. Janice let the music teacher rest for a while before calling Debbie and the 4 girls to come over. "Debbie, these 4 girls are the other members of the group. Let me introduce you," Janice said as she smiled at her. "This is Melissa Kennedy." A girl with earrings smiled at Debbie. However, there was a trace of ridicule and disdain in her smile. Janice then introduced 2 more girls, who were called Katie Jackson and Olivia Taylor. They acted the same as Melissa, only smiling hastily. Their gazes held a trace of scorn toward Debbie. "This is Rita Lopez." Janice introduced the last girl. Rita was the girl who walked in alone. Like Janice, she had short hair, a casual posture, and wore a faint smile on her face. Perhaps it was because she was younger than Janice, but she looked even more beautiful and energetic. "Hello, nice to meet you," Rita said as she stretched out her hand and smiled at Debbie. "Hello," Debbie said as she shook hands with Rita, feeling a little closer to her. Janice let Debbie introduce herself again. "Janice, is it okay if I ask my best friend to come to the company tomorrow for training?" Melissa asked with a shrewd expression. Her group wanted to recruit new members. The day before yesterday, she had asked her best friend to come in and try out. Afterwards, she was quite happy with Janice's expression and told her best friend to go back and wait for news. "Tell your friend not to come," Janice said casually. "Now that Debbie has joined, we're no longer going to recruit her. We'll let you 5 girls form the company's new group. The group's name is also decided. Let's call you the Dream Chasers. You have to work hard. When the time is right, the company will put you all in front of an audience." When Melissa heard that her best friend was out, her heart turned cold. She couldn't help but turn her gaze toward Debbie. She felt that Debbie had snatched away from her best friend's chance at happiness. Her disgusted expression became even more obvious. "All right, you guys don't have much time left. Hurry up and practice." Janice clapped her hands and called for the music teacher to continue. "Let's all practice the song Freedom Like a Dream. This is the song that you'll sing aloud at the beginning." After the music teacher finished speaking, he led Debbie and the others to sing with the score. The 5 of them sang together in a low voice. "Let's sing separately. I'll correct each of you. Olivia, you go first," the music teacher said to her. When Olivia was singing alone, Melissa was very pleased with herself. Her singing skills were excellent, and she sang the best. So she wanted to let Debbie see how strong she was. She wanted Debbie to feel inferior and leave the group to chase after other dreams. After the first 3 girls finished singing, the music teacher gave each of the advice to practice improving their flaws. When it was Melissa's turn, she cleared her throat and started to sing. Her voice was good, explosive, and she controlled it well. After all, she had been singing for more than a decade, since elementary school, and she had always enjoyed it. After she finished, everyone applauded her. Janice nodded in satisfaction. "That's right, we should do it in a smoother tone. There shouldn't be any big problems," the old music teacher said as he smiled at Melissa. Melissa was also exceptionally proud of herself. When she backed away, she glanced at Debbie smugly and gave an indistinct snort. The reason why Melissa and the other 2 girls looked down on Debbie was that she wore ordinary clothes and came from a small town. They felt that she was unfit to form a group with them. Because she had taken her best friend's position, they didn't have a good impression of her at all. Seeing Debbie standing in the middle of the stage, Melissa clasped her hands and waited to see how she would sing. In her opinion, her outstanding singing most likely had already crushed Debbie. Debbie held the microphone nervously. She glanced at the lyrics and slowly closed her eyes. "Do you still miss me, my dearest friend, when I decided to drop all to walk on the road to freedom?" The melody floated out of Debbie's mouth. Instead of a hoarse voice, it was like a stream flowing out of a glacier. The song reached deep into a person's heart. Everyone unconsciously revealed a smile, and the music teacher even looked surprised as he thought, "This song can still be sung this way?" Even Melissa couldn't help but be taken aback when she heard Debbie sing. "When I said goodbye to you yesterday on the road to future, I want to be as free as a dream, tolerance like the earth, on the hard road of exile, light of life." Even at the climax of the song, Debbie did not sing with a hoarse voice. She was still performing the song as she understood it. Debbie's singing entered a new realm. She slowly opened her eyes and took a look at the lyrics. Her gaze was filled with a faint watery glow, making her eyes seem as bright as the stars. Janice's gaze lit up. From Debbie's gaze, she seemed to be able to see the sea of stars. "I want to be free as a dream, tolerance like the earth on the hard road of exile, lighting up the light of life." After the song ended, everyone was still immersed in feelings brought on by Debbie's singing. At this moment, Melissa was staring at Debbie in a daze. She had never expected her to sing so well. Of course, Debbie had never received any professional training before, so if it came down to it, Melissa's singing skills were much better than Debbie's. However, this shocked Melissa even more. With her more than 10 years of learning music basics, of course she could hear it. Debbie had never received any training before, and her singing was still very rough, but she was completely able to translate the song according to her understanding of it. The ability to move the audience was the most difficult and important thing for a singer. It was so important that it almost became the key difference between a top singer and an outstanding singer. Debbie had been born with this ability. Besides being shocked, Melissa was also jealous of Debbie. She knew that she had lots of talent. "You're too good at singing. Your singing style and tone are all very strong. This is a sharp weapon that stands out among many singers. In the future, you'll be even better if you practice more," the music teacher said to Debbie with a smile. He had a premonition that this new student would become a future star. "You two should continue practicing with the teacher. Debbie, come here for a bit," Janice said with a smile as she pulled her aside. This was yet another blow to Melissa's heart. Looking at the beaming smiles on Janice and Debbie's faces, Janice seemed to be very satisfied with her new student. Melissa had always wanted to be the lead singer of the Dream Chasers. All this time, she had always felt that she was safe to get the lead position, but now she had a strong sense of urgency. She felt that Debbie was a strong competitor. Janice indeed felt that Debbie had potential. Thinking about the importance of nurturing her to become the leader of the girl group, she focused her chat with Debbie on helping motivate her to redouble her efforts and strive to reach the company's requirements as soon as possible. That way, she could put the Dream Chasers in front of the audience sooner. After talking for a while, Janice let Debbie go practice. Janice sat on the sidelines and watched the 5 girls practice. Most of her time was spent watching Debbie, which made Melissa very unhappy. She felt that Debbie had stolen away from her chance to stand in the spotlight. "You girls go practice on your own. I'm going out," Janice said as she answered a phone call and hurried out the door. Seeing that she had left, Melissa knew that she wouldn't be coming back that day. Janice had other celebrities to manage, so she was busy communicating with them all. Not long after Janice had gone, the music teacher also left to see the other artists. In the practice room, only Debbie and the others remained. Debbie was still holding the music scorebook and diligently practicing according to the music teacher's instructions. She was determined to walk down her path as an entertainer. Melissa, Olivia, and Katie were on good terms with each other and gathered near Debbie. All of them looked down on Debbie, as they were all filled with jealousy and dissatisfaction toward her outstanding performance that day. "I didn't expect her to sing so well. I thought she was just pretty," Katie whispered as she stared at Debbie. "Pretty? Where's she pretty? Why can't I see it?" Melissa said angrily. Amongst the 3 of them, Melissa's family background was the best, so the other 2 followed her lead. "That's right, she's not as pretty as the 3 of us. She's only a bit better than the average girl," Olivia quickly said. "Melissa, watching Janice's attitude toward Debbie, she seems to value her a lot. Janice wouldn't want her to be the leader instead, would she?" Her? You wish, Melissa hatefully said. Didn't she try to win Janice's favor? Acting cool in front of us? She's only just arrived, but she's already so out of control. If we don't show her who's in charge, she might really think that she's a member of our group. With that, Melissa stood up, and the three of them walked over while staring fixedly at Debbie. Janice found her, so I advise you not to act recklessly, said Rita when she passed by. Rita lightly tapped her guitar, acting like she didn't care as she reminded them. There's no need for you to worry about my own matters, Melissa said in an unflustered manner as she walked over to Debbie with Katie and the rest of them. Melissa grabbed the corner of Debbie's lyric sheet. Startled, Debbie looked up and saw that Melissa and the other girls were now standing next to her. She was trying to practice, and she needed that sheet. So why was Melissa trying to take it? She froze for a moment before Melissa yelled, "Let go!" Debbie was so frightened that she trembled as she let go of the lyric sheet. She looked at Melissa with a hurt expression. Why was she being so mean to her? Her heart sank. Janice was very nice to Debbie, but Melissa and her friends didn't seem to like her. Don't be so serious, Melissa said jokingly, as she dropped into a swivel chair. Katie and Olivia sat beside her, while Rita remained standing, looking at Debbie with a faint smile. Hey, new girl, since you've joined our band, you have to follow our rules, Melissa sneered. From now on, we're your superiors. I'm the boss. Olivia Taylor is second, Katie Jackson's third, and Rita Lopez over there is fourth. You're last. You should call me Miss Kennedy. Yes, Miss Kennedy, Debbie said. Although she knew they were teasing her, she still did as they asked. She looked at Rita, who was fiddling with her guitar, and said, Hello, Miss Lopez. Just call me Rita. There is no such rule, Rita said plainly. Melissa glanced at Rita. She laughed, and the other girls joined in. She was quite proud of her joke, but Debbie was being very quiet, having been firmly put in her place. Debbie ignored their mockery. Right now, all she wanted to do was improve her singing, and she just wanted to be left alone to practice. She turned away. Hey, new girl, did we say you could go? Melissa asked with dissatisfaction. A scowl marred her beautiful face. What do you want? Debbie asked, also unhappily. She had called them by their surnames as they had wanted, but they were always calling her New Girl. They had no respect for her at all. Haven't you seen the mess in this room? Melissa asked. Every new member needs to take a turn cleaning up, so you can do it now. Remember to clean everything on the table and to wash the floor properly. Rita stopped strumming her guitar and sighed. When she saw that Debbie had accepted Melissa's order and started cleaning, she shook her head and resumed playing. Debbie cleared the table, and then she swept the floor with a broom before wiping it with a mop. She was very good at these things. Before she had come to college, she had often helped her mother with tasks like these. She had just finished cleaning the floor when Olivia and Katie walked over it on their way to the door, leaving 2 rows of black footprints. Debbie glanced at the 2 of them as they wandered off, talking and laughing. She didn't say anything but simply wiped away their footprints. When she had finally finished, she was about to put away the mop when Katie and Olivia came back with a few bags of snacks. Please wait a few minutes and the floor will be dry, she said to them with a smile. I'm in a hurry, Katie said casually as she followed Olivia into the practice room, again leaving 2 rows of black footprints behind them. Debbie glared at their backs, but in the end, she still took the mop and wiped away their footprints. Stay there, she told them. The floor will be dry in about 5 minutes. If you walk on it again, I won't clean it. She knew that these 3 girls didn't like her. Before Debbie finished speaking, Melissa looked at her with a smile. The bag she was holding slowly fell from her hands, and the potato chips dropped to the floor, causing a mess. Oops, I'm sorry, Melissa said with a smile. Let's get this place cleaned up a bit more. No matter how good-natured Debbie was, she couldn't help but glare angrily at Melissa. She didn't say anything as she carried her mop and walked out the door. Stop, Melissa cried out, her voice echoing in the empty practice room. Debbie did not stop,
Where do you think you're going? Melissa yelled. The sound of hurried footsteps came from behind Debbie, who turned around and raised her hands to defend herself. Melissa grabbed Debbie's neck and pushed her against the wall. Who do you think you're dealing with? You're a country bumpkin from a small town. How dare you disrespect me? You're nothing compared to us, Katie said with a sneer. Show some respect. Do you really think you can be a lead singer? Olivia said sarcastically. Debbie only looked at them in fear. Look at this little Melissa said, laughing. She's so scared of us that she's shaking. And here she thought she was so awesome. She fiercely pushed Debbie away, causing her to stagger. Go, clean up the floor. Angry and frightened, Debbie picked up a broom and prepared to clean. Look, Melissa, Olivia said. She'll do whatever she's told. She'll be easy to control in the future. That's right, who cares if she sings well? Katie joined in. But we won't be able to beat her if she becomes the lead singer. Listening to her friend's flattery, Melissa felt proud of herself. She crossed her arms and sneered at Debbie. Didn't this little bitch say that she and her mother are the only two people in her family? She asked. With her mother being a poor woman from the country, it would be a miracle for Debbie to go to university. Her mother must have done something shady to get the money. If she could have some fun and also earn some extra money. Shut up, Debbie yelled as she turned around to glare fiercely at Melissa. Hey, did you dare to yell at me? Melissa spoke slowly and deliberately as she angrily walked toward Debbie. So, your mom is your weak spot, right? She kicked at Debbie's lower abdomen. Don't insult my mother, Debbie screamed angrily. She grabbed Melissa's leg and flung her away so hard that Melissa's head bounced off the floor when she fell. Debbie and her mother had always been mutually dependent on each other, and she knew how many hardships her mother had suffered to provide for her. When Olivia and Katie saw Melissa hit the floor, they rushed forward and pushed Debbie away. You actually dared to hit me, Melissa said, glaring at her. You'll pay for that. She rubbed at her head as Katie and Olivia helped her up. Hit her, she ordered. The girls rushed at Debbie to beat her up. Debbie was too weak to fight back. She could only kneel on the ground, hugging her head to protect it. Blows rained down on her shoulders. Katie kicked her to the floor. Enough! Rita pushed Melissa and the other girls, who were punching and kicking Debbie as hard as they could. Mind your own business, Melissa said, glaring at Rita. You guys are being too loud. I need some peace and quiet, Rita said, looking at Melissa. Then get lost, Melissa said, exasperated. If it's too noisy here, then go somewhere else. Do you want me to call Janice? Rita took out her phone and shook it at her. You. Melissa stared angrily at Rita. If Janice found out about this, then they would be in trouble. She glanced at Debbie, then said, If you dare to complain to Janice, you'll be sorry. Let's go, Melissa glared at Rita, and then left with Olivia and Katie. Rita let out a sigh of relief as she watched the girls walk away. She turned around and looked at Debbie, who was curled up on the floor, trembling, with her arms wrapped around her head. She's so pitiful, she thought, feeling sorry for her. Get up, she said, squatting down to help her. Debbie's face had a few bruises, and her hair was a mess. Her clothes were dirty and covered in black footprints. Thank you, Debbie said softly with tears in her eyes. Rita was moved by her timid appearance. No need to thank me, Rita said, looking away. I just don't like those guys. Well, thank you anyway, Debbie answered, a little disappointed by Rita's words. If you don't want to be bullied again, then you need to find a boyfriend to protect you, Rita said. Then she walked toward the door. Debbie! Alex called as he rushed in, brushing past Rita. When he saw Debbie, he was shocked and felt sorry for her. Rita's expression became a bit dejected. Judging by Alex's appearance and clothes, he wouldn't be able to protect Debbie at all. Alex, Debbie said. When she saw him, she couldn't hold it in anymore. Tears started dripping down her cheeks and she hugged him tightly. Who hit you? Alex asked, looking at her bruised face. He was anxious to know the identity of the culprit so that he could avenge her. He turned around and looked at Rita with an unfriendly expression, Is that her? I'll make her pay for this. No, it's not her, Debbie said. The person who hit me is gone. She pulled him back, stopping him from going after Rita. Rita smiled wryly and shook her head. Debbie's life was already difficult enough, and the universe had given her a silly boyfriend like this. Disappointed, she walked out of the room.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.